I'm Vanessa from Life Mentoring. This week's topic is thoughts. What I haven't told you is that each week I do a video on a topic, and there is also a blog. So some people prefer to watch a video and some people may prefer to read. So I'll post the link to the blog. So every week the video and the blog is the same topic and you can choose which is your preferred media. Today's topic, as I said, is thoughts. So we have thoughts. Our brain, think of your brain as like the most massive, best computer. All the time you've got stuff going on, you've got this program running in the background. So your thoughts, that most of that is subconscious. So you're not even aware that it's happening. And then it comes, as a thought into your head. And what I found is a lot of people just allow whatever comes into their mind and their brain to think, just allows it. And what you haven't perhaps realized is you do actually have some control over this. When I first started thinking about it, I imagined it like a naughty little or rascal little 2-year-old, where their behavior, they just do, they act, they behave, and it's all just free. Well, that's what's happening with your brain, unless you decide to take charge. So your thoughts happening all the time in the background, and then they come to the foreground. But why? What's the point of these thoughts? What do we do with them? So we might assess things, we might use them to plan, and we might use them for problem solving. So that's all very well and good. It makes everything clearer. We work through the problem through our thoughts and thinking process. Perhaps it's important to say at this point that your thoughts are like the precursor to your feelings and your emotions, and therefore to your behavior. So think about it as a chain. You have your thoughts and your feelings and emotions, and then you behave. So when you look at a behavior, think about where it's come from. Came from your thoughts. So the next thing to think about is how reliable our thoughts are. If our thoughts are behind what's going on with our feelings, emotions, behaviors, can we really trust and rely on our thoughts? They're ours, surely, that makes them valid. However, what you'll consider when you start creating awareness around your thoughts is that we have biases. I mean, it's kind of obvious when you think about it because not everybody thinks the same. So why do we think differently? Well, we have biases. What's our biases based on? They are based on our experiences in life and our differences, what's happened before and how we look at something. However, so although that creates a bias, you can say, well, is then that real? Yes, it's real to you. But if we can create a bias by looking at it in a particular way, then surely that means we can uncreate it. As in, we can challenge that and we can then maybe look at it differently. So the whole question behind this is, are your thoughts empowering? Are they good for you? Are they working for you? One interesting thing is procrastination. That's when your thoughts are actually not even getting you anywhere. So they might be getting you somewhere to the wrong place, or they might be running round and round in your head. I mean, that's something I hear quite a lot. You'll hear it when people say, oh, I couldn't get to sleep, I was just thinking too much. And really the answer is to redirect your thoughts. There is another strategy that people use, and that's things like meditation and mindfulness. So you can just pause, zone out. Anyway, today I just want to give you 3 strategies that you can use. The first one is quite an interesting one. It's called priming. So if we go back to the computer analogy, you are a computer and your brain will bring up, think of a Google search. If you search for trees, Google comes up with trees. And then what happens if you had fed that into your brain all day long? Your subconscious is looking for trees and looking at trees and thinking about trees. This is called priming. We could use that to our advantage. We can use this to think positively and things that we want to think about, empowering thoughts, good thoughts. So a lot of people you'll find they use positive affirmations. You hear people say they stand in the mirror and they use positive affirmations and gratitudes. So what this does is it creates this kind of adapts a little program in your brain and says, right, today we're going to think positive things. And it creates a bias, but a bias that works for us. So you can start your day, well, it doesn't have to be at the start of the day, but you can use priming. So set your brain up on a positive journey for the day. Then another thing you can do when you have thoughts, we all do this anyway, but do it consciously. Go to something or someone external. Get another point of view on it. You might think that you didn't like someone's behaviour. I didn't like what they did. No, that's not acceptable. So go to someone else. Maybe go to 2 people, 3 people. Get some different points of view. So get an external input. And you might find that, yeah, they agree with you. So your point of view is totally valid. But I mean, do think about who you're going to. If you're going to friends and family, most likely they're going to support you and go, oh, yeah. So actually, it's a good idea to choose someone who you think might not agree with you. Listen to their side of it and then reassess. Could I, consider that point of view? That leads us nicely onto the third thing, which is reframing. So this is where you can get this external information. So you look at something from this point of view, go and speak to someone else who'll look at it from this point of view, someone from this point of view, someone from this point of view, or this one, or this one. Just get lots of different views on it. And then what you can do is think, okay, well, the view I had wasn't really very helpful. That made me angry. So that's your feeling. It made me behave. What did you do with that feeling? So now you reframe it and you take it from a different angle, one that's going to be more helpful, one that can make you perhaps be less angry or change your emotion. Okay, so just to recap, we have a really powerful computer all day long. We've got all these thoughts going on in our head. We're quite often not aware of a lot of them until they come to the forefront. And then what we can do is challenge them, look to see if they're biased, have a look from different angles, and then we can actually change our thoughts and start to run them in a positive way that actually works to our advantage. So I'm trusting this has been helpful for you. But it's just a brief summary, but please feel free to ask questions, and you can maybe suggest another topic for the next week, which perhaps might delve into something in this area in a little more detail, or a completely different topic. So remember to tick the like and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next week. Have a good week.